Stephen A., what did you make of Wade's comments?
My heart went out to him. D. Wade's a proud guy. He's somebody that I've known for years in this league. I cover a lot of these guys. You get to know a lot of these guys. Some of their imperfections that come out, you know, we have an obligation to point to that as long as it's not too much on a personal level. There are things that I know about guys on a personal level you'll never hear me say. I'll take it to my deathbed. It's not happening. But as it pertains to the sport that they play, you know, you report on what you report. D. Wade is one of the greatest people that I've ever covered in my professional career. He's that good of a guy. And no matter how comfortable he is with this decision, no matter how comfortable his wife, Gabrielle Union Wade, who's also a friend of mine, I've known her for many years, wonderful woman, no matter how composed they are, no matter how fine they are with this decision, no matter how happy D. Wade is to go back home, and he is happy because he contemplated going there, and, you know, while he was approaching free agency max in 2010 before the three decided to hook up, there is no question that it hurt him to leave Miami, and there is no question why. In the end, when he talks about all y'all need to know, based on that wonderful interview Kerry Champion did, here's all y'all need to know. When he says feeling appreciated, when he says feeling wanted, that's a roundabout way of saying that's not how he ultimately ended up feeling in Miami. 13 years, 3 championships, 5 trips to the NBA Finals. And he sort of felt like he was being pushed out. Hassan Whiteside, $98 million over 4 years. $4 million was reserved for Kevin Durant. But somehow, some way, when Kevin Durant decides not to go to Golden State, and instead he decides he's going to Golden State and decides now he's not coming to Miami, suddenly that's $4 million that was available to him wasn't available for D. Wade. So when he says it wasn't about the money, even though it's about money, it wasn't in this respect. He's saying, damn, $4 million, you trying to tell me I'm not worth the extra $4 million? He can sit up there and talk all he wants. And I'm not saying he's not happy to be in Chicago. Don't tell me that D. Wade that I've known wanted to leave South Beach. He didn't want to leave. And he's not going to blame. And he's right when he sits there and says he has nothing but respect for Pat Riley. He didn't say the word love. Now, I know that if you know Pat Riley, believe it or not, it's actually hard not to love him because even though he might, you know, he gets, you know, he's a little bit different, the man is special in so many ways, and there's so many pros that come with being associated with Pat Riley rather than cons. But in the end, don't tell me it didn't hurt him. And I saw a guy that's happy to be going home, and he's going to make lemonade out of lemon. Mm-hmm. But I also saw a guy that's hurt that it had to come to this, and it saddened me.
And Dwyane Wade contradicted himself in the interview because on the one hand, he framed himself as the choosing one. I got to make a decision.
Controlling his own destiny.
Controlling my own destiny. On the other hand, it was, you'd have to ask Pat Riley that. In other words, and then he said Pat Riley made his choice. And that's what this really comes down to. Dwyane Wade didn't choose here. Pat Riley chose. And then Pat Riley, who is still kind of like the alpha of the NBA, he's still the godfather of the league somehow. Pat Riley got Dwyane Wade to take a little less than his market share every single season of his career. He always took a little less to make everything work. And how did Pat Riley reciprocate the loyalty? As a smart guy does who's running a team. When he was no longer worth making that sacrifice for in Pat Riley's perception, I believe, when he figured, look, he was an all-star last year, had a great bounce-back year. Maybe he'll be an all-star again next year, but he ain't going to be an all-star 2 years from now, and he wants us to pay him like one. He saw an out. And then after the fact, Pat Riley says, oh, I regret not being more involved. Coach, or I can't, Pat, you know, what? Mr. Riley? I mean, more involved, as though we're supposed to believe that Pat Riley isn't involved in every nuance and detail of the organization. When Dwyane Wade sits there and says, go ask Pat Riley, he made his choice, what he's really saying is, I am not the choosing one. It was chosen for me. Stephen A. That
That's a
said,
great point.
I think more highly of his chances and his situation in Chicago than you do. They essentially traded Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah for Dwyane Wade and Robin Lopez, which at this point I believe is an upgrade. And yeah, they don't have a lot of shooting in the backcourt with Rondo, although Butler should shoot better than he did last year. But they got the stretch four, what's his name, Mirotic at the 4, even though Gibson maybe
They'll
on
get to the
paper is the
playoffs.
starter. If they can shoot just enough, they're going to be dangerous.
No, I don't think they're going to be dangerous. D-Wade disagrees with me there, so does Jimmy Butler. But I don't think they're going to be dangerous. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll be decent. I think a successful season for them will qualify them getting to the semifinals of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
I think it's questionable whether that will happen, but they'll definitely make the playoffs in my estimation. But I also think getting back to the whole Riley D-Wade thing, I totally agree with you. In terms of being more involved or whatever, some folks close to D-Wade and LeBron text me a message when it went down a few weeks ago, and they said, you know what? They made him an offer he could refuse.
Yeah.
He had to refuse.
That's a great way to say it.
And
Yep.
they said that's the bottom line. And if they see it that way, that's their way of telling me that's how D-Wade saw it. When I spoke to D-Wade, he was perfectly fine with the decision. It had to be done. But he had been warning me for a year. Stephen A., this could be it for me in Miami. He had been warning me for a year. I never believed it because that beautiful house he built inside, it's near South Beach and the whole bit. But evidently he wasn't playing, man. And in 2 of the last 3 years, LeBron has walked out the door and D-Wade has walked out the door. Again, I think Riley is phenomenal, but this has not been a good time for him. It has not been.
Yep, but you want to be where you wanted. And that point again, yeah, he didn't really get to dictate his destiny, but now making the best of it. When we come back, John Elway says he believes in the Sanchez. So can Mark Sanchez lead the Broncos all the way to the Super Bowl? That is the question. They got a serious defense when we return.